welcome to our special post-election show, Nigeria Has Spoken. I'm Henry Bonsu.
And I'm Mimi Fawaz. After a tense 48-hour wait, the results in the Nigerian presidential elections were finally announced on Tuesday, with all eyes on Africa's largest democracy. And Nigerians spoke. Nearly 30 million of them made their voices count by voting for change. And change it was, as General Muhammadu Buhari was elected as the people's next president, winning by 2.5 million votes.
So what about the challenges facing Buhari, the former military man who made security and corruption his watchwords during the campaign? Joining us in the studio tonight to discuss that are Dr. Titi Banjoko from the Nigerian Leadership Initiative and the journalist and activist Mo Abdul Kadir. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much.
Now, if, Titi, I had told you a week ago that you would be greeting President-elect Muhammadu Buhari, what would you say to me?
Well, I would have said, put it this way, given the history we have of the people in power staying, I would have said that would have not probably happened. But I think it's the speed at which it happened.
Yes.
And the fact that everything has gone peacefully after is really kudos to the Nigerian population and also to President Goodluck for once standing up and being a leader. Yeah. And I must commend him for that, coming out and actually extending the hand of a congratulatory message to General Buhari. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think that was it. We were all tense. Yes. There was a lot of nervousness.
What were you so tense about?
I was tense that, violence could erupt. Yeah. It looked like nobody wanted to lose this election. Those in power, didn't want to leave, and those who wanted to get in, wanted to get in. So it looked like, and we know there can only be one winner, as you know. So to the mass population, a lot of Nigerians actually left the country. Yeah. People left the country in fear.
They went into temporary exile.
Oh yes, temporary exile is the word. We had some temporary diaspora, even if it's just for for a few days.
And Mo, of course, you were a northerner from Kano, massive population base there that voted for Muhammadu Buhari. Yeah. Did you expect this change to come?
Well, to be honest, if we look at the history, right from the time the four political parties merged
to make the All Progressives
yes,
Congress.
That's right, yeah, a strong, front to confront the People's Democratic Party. I knew very well that something was up, there in the air, and change, was actually, approaching. So I didn't have any fear, to be honest. The coming of CPC, which really showed, its force in the 2011 elections, getting more than half of what the incumbent president got, at that time, in a situation whereby Muhammad Buhari formed that party 3 months to the elections. It was almost like a one-man show. So coming together now was another strong, force in the southwestern part of Nigeria.
The key thing as well was that Muhammadu Buhari didn't just win in the north.
Exactly.
He went across the country,
That's
apart
right,
from
yes.
maybe the federal capital territory,
exactly, yeah.
and also in
That's
the southwest.
Right. In
so
southwest,
this was
yes.
Nigeria speaking
exactly.
collectively, wasn't it?
Collectively, exactly. It was Nigeria, speaking, because to be honest, number one fact was that people are tired of Jonathan's administration, and then the people in the north who overwhelmingly voted for Buhari in 2011 are now coming, to form a front with the people in the southwest. Yeah. Now, that is where the winning formula is in Nigeria. If you have these two zones, yes. then you have Nigeria. There's no doubt about that.
I actually say it's the zone. I think it's more of the change. Because everybody, in terms of the, when people talk about, the Nigerian populace, they're not homogeneous. Yeah.
You're very diverse.
The bottom of the pyramid is, I always say to people, 10%, and the top people, really to them, they're just shuffling the deck. Mm. The bottom, where people actually have grinding poverty, and where people have seen their lives, and they can see the other side, the way they live, that actually is where, and I remember having numerous conversations with people who I thought will never vote APC, who actually said, they talked about school fees, yes. they talked about health, they talked about, it's like someone said to me, in Nigeria, you are either embarrassingly rich or embarrassingly poor.
No in between.
And
No
I
in
think
between.
that's what it's all about. It's there to govern the people. He made that very clear. We will discuss more about that. Now, it's the first time in Nigeria's history that an opposition candidate has clinched power from a sitting president. It's also the first time in its democratic chapter since 1999 that the PDP has lost power. So what does this key time in Nigeria's history mean for the country? Take a look.
After a long drawn-out campaign, General Muhammadu Buhari has finally confirmed the winner of Nigeria's presidential election by a margin of 2.5 million votes. It's a victory at the fourth time of asking for the candidate from the country's Muslim north.
I thank all Nigerians who have made this day possible. Our country has now joined community of nations that have used the ballot box to peacefully change an incumbent president in a free, fair election. To me, this is indeed historic.
Historic indeed. The victory writes a new chapter in the nation's turbulent history. In fact, it's the first time an opposition leader has won an election in Nigeria, and it comes after 6 military coups since independence in 1960 and 16 years of unbroken civilian rule by Goodluck Jonathan's party. As it became clear that the 72-year-old former military leader was on course to win, celebrations got underway.
These people they have been leaders for about 20 years, but we didn't see any development, anything. That's why we think that Buhari will bring change for us in this, our great country.
In some of the southern, mainly Christian states, where the incumbent President Jonathan has the bulk of his support, there was disappointment.
Nigeria should make a peace because we are one love, okay? And we are one nation, okay? And we are one people, you understand? So, let's see what Buhari is going to offer us for the next 4 years.
In an act that will serve as an example for the rest of Africa, where leaders have all too often sought to cling to power at any cost, Jonathan conceded.
I promised the country free and fair elections. I've kept my word. I've also expanded the space for Nigerians to participate in the democratic process. That is one legacy I would like to see endure.
The violence that marred the 2011 election has so far been avoided. With a war against Boko Haram insurgents still underway in the northeast, Nigerians will hope the peaceful vote can set the tone for the years to come.
Well, that's how it went, and we want to know, though, what kind of man is going to become Nigeria's president in just 2 months' time? President-elect Muhammadu Buhari. You guys, our guests here, have got your thoughts and your opinions, and our friends at home, Nigerians and friends of Nigeria all across the UK, the EU, and the Federal Republic itself will be calling us in tonight, as you did last week. Remember, last week it was about Nigeria decides.
Yes, exactly.
This week is Nigeria has spoken. So let's take it away, Mimi. We've got people calling in already.
We do have on the line Imwetimian on the phone from Rugby. Hello, what's your question?
I don't actually have a question, but I would just want to make a contribution.
Please go ahead.
All right. First and foremost, I would like to extend my greetings to every one of you there.
Thank you.
I wish to use this opportunity to congratulate the outgoing President Jonathan for accepting the defeat. Quite obviously, it was quite clear that Buhari was going to win this election in view of what has been happening in Nigeria. I'm only disappointed that Jonathan did not actually tender his resignation after the Chibok girls incident. He would have done that and he would have left there honorably. But having said that, the guy there, I don't know his name, is wearing this native something design. I'm sorry to say that. He used the word that the issue was winning the northern part of Nigeria and southwestern Nigeria. It is partly true, but having said that, I think President Buhari should take a cue from the mistake which was made by Jonathan. Because if you look at the election result, it speaks for itself. It shows that only the people from his own enclave in the southeastern part of Nigeria that overwhelmingly voted for him. It was not actually representing the whole country. That's Jonathan. But thank God it went like this, the election. I am elated. I'll be so dancing. I already grown up when Buhari was in position, though he spent about 18 months, for what he did before. If he could start from, if he can start from there, believe you me, Nigeria would be a different place to live in.
All right, thank you very much. Let me stop you there. All protocols observed, because we have other people calling in from Manchester, probably from Paris, from Kaduna, Enugu, Ikiti, all these places.
And here in the UK as well.
Oh, no, indeed, a Mancunian. Quickly respond to what he said.
Yeah, in response, I agree with him to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to point out here is what we have seen in these elections, where, for example, Buhari generated a lot of votes from these two zones, the southwest and the north, and then for example, south, and the southeast remain the same, loyalists, of irrespective of what changes, Buhari was going to bring, that didn't matter. They still went, for someone they were kind of, complaining about, before the commencement of the election in the first place.
I mean, the main thing is that Nigerians see themselves as part of one Nigeria, because
that's right.
The number of times I've spoken to Nigerians in the UK who say they don't really believe in the entity called Nigeria. A lot say that.
Absolutely, but Buhari did say, and I'm quoting here, he pledged reconciliation with political opponents who fear a return to his autocratic regime of the 1980s.
That's right.
And he said a government representing all Nigerians.
Exactly.
Is that to allay the fears that we touched upon here?
Yeah. Yes, exactly, because Buhari is a unifying factor. If you know Buhari, when he was in the army, he commanded a lot of respect from the soldiers because of his attitude towards everyone.
Yes, he told people to queue in buses.
Exactly, to queue in buses. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you are from the north, from the south, even in the military itself, which was one of the reasons why all of them, collectively decided that, they should, go for Buhari as the president after, overthrowing the government of Shoshagari.
That's right. Okay, we've got people calling in. The number is 0207 501 7701. You can tweet, you can Facebook. So many different ways of getting in touch with us tonight. Greetings, John from Manchester. Greetings to you.
Yeah, good evening. Please, what I just want to say is, like, really, if I'm in Nigeria, I'm going to vote. Yeah, good evening.
Yes, John, we're hearing you.
If I'm in Nigeria, personally, I'm going to vote for Buhari if I'm in Nigeria. But what I'm so scared about Buhari, is the people that surround him, people like Tinubu, Rivers State governor, former governor of Kwara State, Saraki. Those people, they are just like the same people from PDP. Because what we are hearing about Tinubu presently doesn't look very, very okay.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. If Buhari is as austere and as committed to a war on corruption as he says, and as he was in the mid-80s, and we know that Titi has direct experience. Sorry, John, one second. One second, John. John, please, we'll direct it from here, not from Manchester. Okay, if he really is as austere and committed to anti-corruption, then he won't allow those people who maybe even have helped him win to stay too close to him when he's president.
I think, I mean, of course, this is politics. And so while the emphasis is on Buhari, you've got to understand that there's going to have to be some negotiations, because Buhari is the president, but he needed people to enable him to get there. He didn't get there by himself. I think what the caller is saying, and when Buhari was actually in the UK, people asked him that, is he going to witch hunt everybody that has been corrupt? And he said, and I remember very well, he said, if he did, he would not have time to rule. Because he will be focused on that.
But he did.
But he would draw the line in that corruption would not be acceptable. And,
that question was posted by the BBC actually post-win, that within his own party as well, if he finds people to be corrupt, will he stamp that out? And he did say that he would.
He would. Yeah. But what people are referring to, and I know what people are saying, there are a lot of people who do surround him who have history of corruption. So what people are looking is how, and that was the fear that a lot of people had. Is he going to go back So, and prosecute some people. Because, of course, corruption, and I started by saying embarrassingly rich and embarrassingly poor. I mean, do you know the billionaires in Nigeria? Some of them work for it, but a number of them did not work for it.
Can I come in here?
Yes, you may. Please go ahead, respond.
Well, to be honest, you see, if you look at, if you know Buhari very well, you know that he's a strong, individual. He
reminds me of Paul Kagame. He looks like an older version of Paul Kagame. Very austere, hates corruption, very tall and lean.
That's right.
And don't cross him.
Exactly. Don't cross him. Because Buhari, is respected by all these people you have mentioned. For example, people like Saraki.
Yes, because he's not incorruptible.
And these people, you are talking about, people just look at them, they are very rich. These people are corrupt. But up to now, they have not been charged with any offense relating to corruption. But Buhari, I can tell you that will take care of that situation because he is experienced and he has been in that situation.
Nigerians want to speak tonight, don't they?
Absolutely, and we do have Chooks from London on the phone. Hello, Chooks. What's your contribution?
Yes, just trying to contribute to the ongoing debate, and I'm happy that Buhari has come into the race for the presidency and won. The only thing I would like to say is that apart from fighting corruption, security, and development of Nigeria as a whole, I would also like to see Buhari looking at eliminating the kind of politics that has been going on in Nigeria, a situation whereby development is only focused on the states of the party where on the parties where the ruling government is where the ruling government is in government.
So which parts of Nigeria do you think Chucks
politics that has been actually setting Nigeria backward? It started right from the time of the Shagari administration, whereby the NPN states never bothered about what was happening to the UPN states, and they were even their allocations were never addressed the issue, and it still happened in Obasanjo's regime.
All right, Chucks, we'll have to let it go there. Thank you very much indeed, Chucks. Thank you very much.
Just because
thank you very much indeed, Chucks. The question I wanted to ask him, but you didn't quite hear me, is which parts of the country, just very briefly, have suffered as a result of politicians concentrating only in the areas where they've won seats?
Well, the northern part of the country, the northeast. Yeah. The northeast is the worst hit because, you see, they have the list of the share of the national cake, number one. And sometimes, if you look at the distribution of resources, they're behind. Right. So in everything in that country, they're behind.
We'll touch upon that when we do come back, because we will be talking about the challenges facing him. Now it's time for a quick break. When we'll come back, of course, we'll be talking more about this. Also, we'll be looking at the Boko Haram issue and taking more phone calls from the viewers. See you in a minute.